This video is about the Electron, which was a radio control model designed by Rosenstock back in 1949, illustrated and described in Flying Models magazine in 1950. And as you can see, these are fairly recent photographs. Norman has still got the model, which he dragged out of his attic a few years ago, and a friend of his made a very small version. Beautifully done. And the fuselage is just starting. Several of the formers glued in place. Centre section. And here we have one wing half, 41-inch span half a wing, which is starting to come together. Okay, here we are with the fuselage again, November, and I started this early October, and just working out how we're going to sort out the servo arrangement. One servo centred for the pull-pull rudder and the other on one side for the elevator. And I've actually removed temporarily the last former because it needs some reinforcement, I think, to hold the tail. And just finishing the tail, got some hinges in there which will obviously match the ones I still have to sort out in the actual rudder. Little hatch door, smaller than on the plan, but that's big enough to get access to modern equipment and to slide the battery in. And then there'll be another hatch door just in case I need to get at the servos. Okay, November 14th, and back with the fuselage. Still very loose at the front end while we decide what motor's going in there. And over here we can see the planking in the section immediately in front of the pilot. And the pilot's headrest, which according to the plan would have been from soft balsa block, has actually been built up. And onto the tail, which is now fixed in position, the fin and rudder. I'm considering adding some area to the rudder, which I can do at this stage. The landing gear is starting to come together. Got the wheels, started some piano wire bending, still some pieces to make. So, lots to get on with. Just about get the whole thing in there. Fair bit of stringing. The string is now coming into place. Most of the length, and it'll be sheeted at the front. Here we can see the leading edge, which is a slightly shaped bought leading edge. Still lots of whittling and carving to do though. Okay, well, we're now on the second wing half. The other one's over there, off the board at the moment. And this one, this half, we're just about to start finally fitting the leading edge. The bottom spar is quite deep, but nowhere near as deep as it was originally, because I've actually split it and made a top spar in addition to the bottom spar, both for the front spar and also for the rear spar. And that's different to the original plan, basically using less wood but using it in two places to give more strength. Things are still pretty rough, as you can see, lots of whittling and sanding still required. I haven't yet finished the ends of the wingtips, which should be, according to the plan, solid block, but they'll actually be hollow and lighter. Pretty much okay, the build. There's one or two places where the notches are a little big, and I unfortunately cut a notch here where that particular rib is should have been flush, so I've got a notch to fill in there. But moving quickly on, we're getting there, and just finishing the notching of the leading edge. And in the original plan, the ribs actually were butt joined to the leading edge, but I've decided that notches, for my purposes, is probably a better arrangement. So there we go, second wing half, 41 inches. In length, 82-inch span.
And the nose is coming together. It's the original's got a porpoise-like shaped nose, so I've tried to replicate that by building it up in bits and pieces, and it's come together quite well here, building over an aluminium framework for the very front edge round the motor. And we can see also inside a 20 amp amplifier, and the reason for that, if indeed it stays inside, will be made clear much later on in the build. But it's in there, it's working with an MP3 player quite happily. Not sure about which speakers I'll finally be using yet, but that's there. And it's starting to look like a model aeroplane, even though I don't have space to put both wings up together. The two halves of the wing are joined by carbon tubes, and getting the dihedral the right angle, of course, is always a bit tricky, but I think it worked out okay.